Got yourself an epic pass and thinking of making a trip out to Lake Tahoe to ski or snowboard the world-class ski resorts which call this region home? The good news is that there are 3 major resorts to choose from. The hard thing might be choosing which resort to visit or even base yourself at, as they aren't exactly close to each other. Combined, the resorts offer over 10,000 skiable acres, have unlimited access on a range of epic passes, each roughly see the same amount of snowfall, as well as sunshine per season, and offer terrain which is suitable to all skill levels. But not all skiers and snowboarders are made equal, and nor are the ski resorts. So in this video, we're going to take a look at some key categories and tell you which of the 3 resorts come out on top to help you choose which resort you should visit for your next ski or snowboard trip out west. We visited all 3 of these resorts in February of 2023. Which was a record-breaking snow season and led to some incredible days on the mountain. Plus, we're from Australia, so the resort in Lake Tahoe blew our mind, and we were literally just happy to be riding during the Australian summer. If you want to learn more about Kirkwood, Heavenly, or NORTHSTAR, keep watching, or check out our website, snowstash.com. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to stay updated on all of our latest mountain adventures. All 3 of the resorts are large when compared to many of the other ski resorts in North America. Actually, one of these resorts is the 5th largest resort in America. Kirkwood is home to 2,300 acres of terrain that is spread across the 3 main faces of the mountain peaks the resort calls home and covers the 85 marked trails. NORTHSTAR, California has over 3,170 acres of skiable terrain that tower above the base village. The terrain at NORTHSTAR has a lot more groomed runs when compared to the other resorts and is home to 100 marked trails for you to explore. Heavenly Mountain Resort is, as previously mentioned, the 5th largest ski resort in North America with a whopping 4,800 acres of terrain, which spans over 2 states and has numerous base lodges. The clear winner here is Heavenly Mountain Resort, with its huge footprint that spans 2 states and is home to 97 marked trails. It takes a behemoth lift system to move all the annual visitors around this giant ski resort, and that's why Heavenly is home to 28 different lifts. With the resort having a long history in the Lake Tahoe region, it sometimes feels as though taking these lifts are akin to a history lesson. From the vintage double chairs, old school aerial tramway, right through to the brand new express quad lifts. Kirkwood is home to the oldest lift system out of these 3 resorts, with the newest lift going on 18 years. However, that's part of the appeal and the overall mountain experience. 15 different lifts take riders high into the rugged alpine, with many of them being fixed grip, which allows you to disconnect and enjoy the ride or spot your next line. 20 different lifts span out over the diverse terrain at NORTHSTAR, California, and it feels like the lift system is just as diverse. Here, you'll get old school triples from the 70s, high-speed quads, as well as 6 and 8 person gondolas. Heavenly has the most diverse lift system of all 3 resorts, with its aerial trams, a gondola, and one of the largest collection of lifts found at any single ski resort in California. Being tucked deep and hidden into the mountains means the snowfall seems less interrupted at Kirkwood Mountain Resort. The ski area sees 354 inches or 899 centimeters of snow on an average season, which is plenty of the white stuff to create a number of deep powder days across the winter season. Home to 350 inches or 889 centimeters of snow each winter season typically has NORTHSTAR up and running by the holiday season. And this natural snowfall is topped off by a quality and quite advanced snowmaking system across all the main areas at the resort. Heavenly sits higher of all 3, which gives it a slight advantage. However, a lot of the main terrain zones, which provide access to these high elevations, are quite low. With an average annual snowfall of 360 inches or 914 centimeters, the peak time to visit Heavenly is between mid-January through to early March. We can't declare a winner of this category. It's simply a draw, as all the resorts get a very similar average snowfall. However, we feel like the snow at Kirkwood is a touch more exceptional. Plus, the lower amount of visitors means the fresh snow lasts longer. The beginner terrain at Heavenly is interesting. For such a large ski resort, it's weird to see the beginner zones spread so far across many areas. And to make matters worse, you can't get between them. With 8% of the terrain graded green for beginners, you're going to have to choose which zone to base yourself at. Whether that's the Enchanted Forest at California Lodge, the Boulder Learning Zone, or the Learn to Ski area at the Tamarack Lodge. And then spend your day there. The only benefit is that across a number of days, you can change the beginner scenery if you like. 12% might seem like a small number. However, when it comes to beginner terrain, you never need a large area. What really helps beginners learn is the ability to do so in a secluded area. This is where Kirkwood shines, thanks to the Timber Creek base area, which is home to a collection of beginner carpets and lifts. Over in the main mountain village, there is a small beginner area. However, these trails all connect with other advanced and intermediate trails. The beginner terrain at NORTHSTAR is centrally located around and above the lodge at Big Springs. The Big Easy is a beginner exclusive lift that provides a dedicated zone for you to get comfortable before elevating higher into the resort on the Arrow Express. With 13% of the marked trails graded green, the resort allows for easy progression and is the only resort which has a wide open green trail that makes its way back to the base village and allows for beginners to experience ski in, ski out on their first day at the slopes. Again, another draw across all three of these resorts for anyone who is staying at one of the main bases. However, if you are travelling to one of the resorts for their beginner terrain, we would say NORTHSTAR is the standout here, thanks to its dedicated terrain pod plus overall mountain amenities, which are available to you when you get tired of riding. Heavenly has the highest allocation of intermediate trails with 62% marked blue. From nearly every single main lift, there are endless trails to choose from, with the likes of Powder Bowl, Canyon, Tamarack, Comet, Dipper, Olympic, and Galaxy, all providing access to what feels like endless intermediate options. The views from the higher elevation intermediate trails are hard to beat. However, one major downside is that a lot of the intermediate terrain to get between the two sides of the resort are long cat tracks, which have a number of flat spots. Snowboarders, beware. When you look at the Kirkwood trail map, it's hard to spot a blue runs at first. They all seem to be in the lower section of an advanced trail that starts at the top of the ridgeline. Upon closer inspection, you can see that there are a number of lifts which rise just high enough to access the top of these intermediate trails. 30% of the terrain at Kirkwood is allocated to intermediate riders, with some of the best runs being serviced by the Solitude Triple and the Capel's Crest Triple Chair. Take a look at the NORTHSTAR trail map, and it appears like the whole resort is intermediate trails. Well, it's not far off, with 60% of the terrain graded blue for intermediate riders. Not only are there intermediate trails for as far as the eye can see, they are all groomed to perfection, which means you can get some serious speed and also perfect your turning. The Comstock Express, Tahoe Zephyr, and Promised Land are the standout lifts for intermediate riders. We think it's a draw here, specifically between Heavenly and NORTHSTAR. Heavenly because the endless options, plus lifts that are exclusively serve a large portion of intermediate trails. NORTHSTAR because the intermediate terrain has a consistent pitch, the grooming is world class, and the whole front side of the resort has 5 lifts that serve endless blue trails. Heavenly isn't the most extreme resort in the Lake Tahoe Basin. But with 30% of its trails marked as single and double black diamond, you will find some incredible trails that have some serious vertical. The whole canyon beneath Sky Express Chair is a haven for advanced riders, and over on the Nevada side of the resort, they've got Mott and Killebrew Canyon, which is inbound, gated, expert terrain, not for the faint-hearted. And then towering over the California Lodge base is the Gun Barrel Face, over 1,500 feet of double black leg-burning moguls. Find yourself always gravitating to the advanced and expert trails at a resort? Kirkwood might just be where you're heading with your Epic Pass next season. A whopping 58% of the terrain is advanced to expert, and after personally taking on a number of these trails, we can say they are tough and technical. The Cornice Express will take you to steep, groomed advanced trails, which are fast. From this lift, you can also traverse out to the Sentinel Bowl for some high alpine trails which connect down to tight trees. The Wall Triple Lift takes you high into the mountains, where you'll find a collection of expert-only trails, plus you can use this lift to access the Devil's Corral, which is home to some of the toughest chutes at the resort. Home to 2 advanced terrain pods on both the front side and back side of the resort allows for 27% of the terrain at NORTHSTAR to carry the single black diamond rating. The Martis Camp Zone has numerous advanced trails which flow from top to bottom. However, it's a bit tricky to reach this terrain pod and requires a long cat track or short ride on a connector pommel lift, but the steeps and moguls are worth the journey. Over on the backside of the resort, you will find 12 advanced trails with top to bottom riding and over 1,800 feet of vertical, which is serviced by a single express quad. This zone at NORTHSTAR is the longest vertical drop of any single chairlift in the Lake Tahoe Basin, and it's predominantly services advanced riding. Sign us up. Kirkwood takes the crown when it comes to advanced and expert terrain, as it feels like technical trails can be found easily in every part of this resort. If you are visiting Kirkwood, a run down the wall is a must-do trail for any rider who can confidently take on advanced and expert trails. Kirkwood offers up a range of accommodation options. However, it's limited when compared to the other resorts. All the accommodation is found in and around the base area, with a handful of these properties offering the ability for ski and ski out. Heavenly towers high above South Lake Tahoe, and this is where majority of the accommodation is located for visitors to Heavenly Mountain Resort. The only limitation is that there is no ski and ski out options in South Lake Tahoe, but the prices and access to amenities make it stand out. There are further accommodation options located at the California Lodge base, as well as the Boulder and Stagecoach base areas. However, these options are limited and don't have the same access to general amenities. NORTHSTAR is home to what feels like a true European village, and whilst it's designed to feel that way, it really feels magical when the snow starts falling, the lifts are spinning and the fires are burning. The village has everything from hotel rooms, small condos, through to multi-bedroom apartments that will fit the whole family. Plus, for those who want to splurge, there is a Ritz-Carlton, which is one of only 3 at a ski resort in North America. Staying at NORTHSTAR Village doesn't come cheap. However, if access, amenities, and ski out options are important to you, then NORTHSTAR is the place to go. Whilst each of these resorts offer accommodation, it's the standout village at NORTHSTAR that soars above the rest. With its comprehensive lodging options, surrounded by restaurants, bars, and the ability to ski and snowboard directly to your accommodation, this wins. The Sunrise Grill is the only restaurant facility that is located out in the resort at Kirkwood. Here, riders can stop for lunch, a beverage, or a restroom stop whilst out on the backside of the mountain. All the other facilities you would need during the day of riding can be found at one of the 2 mountain-based zones at Kirkwood, which isn't so bad considering all of the trails typically run from the top to the bottom of this resort. When exploring NORTHSTAR, there are 2 main lodges where you can refuel and rest without having to make your way down to the base. The Summit Smokehouse is obviously found, as the name suggests, at the top of the resort, and the newly upgraded Zephyr Lodge can be found at the top of the Tahoe Zephyr Express. There is also a lodge at Big Springs. However, with the layout of NORTHSTAR, we consider this zone to be the main functioning base of the resort. Whilst it's not really an on-mounted facility, the Toast Bar is a pretty cool experience. Riders can turn up at 2 p.m. and toast a free glass of champagne with other riders. If you're visiting NORTHSTAR, you should 100% add this to your list of things to do at the resort. Heavenly has lodges and facilities located all over the resort, as it needs to because it's just so large, and getting back to one of the base zones can become quite challenging. The largest on-mountain restaurant is the Tamarack Lodge, which has all of the convenience required for a pit stop when exploring the California side of the resort. If you are in the lower California zone, you can stop by the Sky Deck for an outdoor barbecue experience or check out the Umbrella Bar. Over on the Nevada side of the resort, the East Peak Lodge sits comfortably between the Dipper and Comet Express and serves up great food and drinks all day. Heavenly takes the cake here when it comes to on-mountain facilities, with plenty of options to suit any kind of rider. Plus, they are all located in all major terrain pods, which means you don't need to traverse or descend to the base to get a drink, snack, or use the restroom. Based on each one of these categories, Heavenly has ranked higher than the other 2 resorts when it comes to size, lifts, intermediate terrain, and on-mountain facilities. NORTHSTAR stands out for its beginner zone, intermediate offering, and lodging options. Kirkwood stands strong for snow quality and advanced to expert terrain. As you can see, there isn't really a single resort that is better than the other. Each has pros and cons when pitched against one another for specific categories, and it really depends on the type of traveller. We hope this video has helped you figure out which of these 3 resorts resonates with you, and if you want to learn more about either Kirkwood, Heavenly, or NORTHSTAR, check out our website, snowstash.com.